Now at 10, should critical race theory be taught in schools? That's the latest debate in the Peach State, what officials are saying straight ahead. And a jury trial has been set for suspended Augusta Commissioner SIAS. Also tonight, new construction on the Georgia state line may change your daily commute. I'm Denise Jefferson. This is NewsChannel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. John Hart is on assignment. Coverage you can count on begins tonight with state legislators talking about a bill that would ban critical race theory in schools. As the legislative session continues at the state capitol, some state lawmakers are opposing a bill that would ban critical race theory in schools.
It really is just more of a restraint on speech.
Some lawmakers say the bill is more about limiting freedom of speech than critical race theory.
I would be hesitant if I was a teacher to teach history at all, quite frankly, especially when they start talking about racial history, because of all the kind of limitations that are on this particular bill.
Proponents of critical race theory describe it as a discipline that seeks to understand how racism has shaped U.S. laws. The bill would prohibit teaching that the U.S. is a systematically racist country. While some supporters of the bill say parents should have more control over what their children learn in classrooms, Senator Harold Jones says the language of the bill would make it hard to teach important parts of history.
Whether it was something like the Hamburg Massacre or the Three-Fifths Compromise, you start finding that just historical facts probably would have to be excluded, and that's very problematic because to be a citizen in the United States, just be an overall good citizen, you need to know all aspects of this history and historical relationships, especially between the races.
We reached out to Representative Brad Thomas, who sponsored the bill. We've not heard back yet. If passed, any school or district found to be in violation of the law could see 20% of its funding withheld by the State Board of Education. The next step for the bill is a hearing in the House Education Committee. Georgia lawmakers wrapping up day 5 today in Atlanta. Lawmakers say they're focused on increasing hospital staff and reducing burnout. They're also focused on reducing high prescription drug costs, improving mental health funding, and expanding telehealth.
We lower the out-of-pocket costs for patients. When you or a family member needs to be on a prescription drug that maybe is a newer one or a brand name or does so much better than the alternative, we want to make sure that you only pay your fair share for that.
Governor Kemp says he wants lawmakers to expand Medicaid coverage for new mothers from 6 months to 12 months. Supreme Court justices could change how the University of North Carolina and other places of higher learning accept applicants. Justices will hear arguments claiming UNC and Harvard discriminated against Asian American applicants.
What's really interesting and different and unique this time around is the focus not on the so-called black and white, but on the multi-factor diversity in the United States. The focus, for instance, on Asian Americans.
Arguments are expected to take place this fall. All right, now it's time to take a look at your weather forecast with our chief meteorologist, Tim Miller. And Tim, today was a little bit warmer compared to that snowy and cold weather we had over the weekend.
Yeah, sure. That wouldn't be hard to do, would it?
Yeah.
Yeah, from all the snow and stuff. Absolutely, Denise. And outside today was a pretty day, 62 degrees with a decent amount of sunshine. Started on the chilly side, 30. That certainly is below freezing and below the average of 35. All in all, tonight it is a little on the chilly side, 38 degrees. Again, our current temperature, 42 in Waynesboro. Starting to see a little bit more cloud cover starting to roll on in, so that means that will be a little warmer than we've been over the last few nights for sure. Satellite view certainly shows the clouds streaming in from the southwest. Tuesday view shows the same thing, and there is a cold front. Unfortunately, that front will be through late tomorrow night, probably by the time we're together tomorrow night, ushering in a little cooler air. So we'll do a 38, pretty much we're at 38 now at Bushfield, maybe a little cooler than that, but temperatures may even go up a smidge by morning. So we'll call it increasing clouds, certainly rain free. Off to school tomorrow. We'll push about 38, 40 to 8 o'clock and 60 once again for a high temperature tomorrow. The caveat is we'll have a little bit more clouds and we'll maybe even throw in a shower or two for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that with your hour by hour forecast and see how the rest of the week looks as well in just a few minutes. Denise.
All right, thanks so much, Tim. Richmond County deputies are investigating a shooting. It happened just before 8 p.m. tonight on Warren Street in Augusta. Officers say a woman was shot in her right side. Deputies say she is pregnant and in the hospital. Investigators say the suspect drove away in the victim's car. It is a 2015 Chevy Impala, charcoal gray, Georgia tag RRU9995. If you know something, please call the sheriff's office. The jury trial for suspended Augusta Commissioner Sammy SIAS is now set. Under a federal indictment, he's charged with destroying public documents and lying to a federal agent. He has pleaded not guilty. Documents filed last week show that a jury trial will begin at 9 a.m. on March 28th. Governor Kemp suspended Sammy SIAS from office back in August based on the recommendation of a panel he appointed. SIAS is out on bond and continues to be paid pending a negative trial outcome. Tomorrow, Augusta commissioners will continue the conversation about the future of a city park. Two commissioners are proposing making improvements at Sue Reynolds, including renovation of the existing building for a community center. The proposal also calls for a walking track and playground. This comes a week after city leaders were planning discussions on whether to close some of the city's underused parks.
Constituents that have reached out to me. What's going to be done to Sue Reynolds? Is anything ever going to be done? District 3 does not have a community center. All the other districts do.
A commission committee is scheduled to hear from a nearby resident at tomorrow's meeting in favor of the park improvement proposal. The next building phase of the new Savannah River Bridge is underway, and it's all happening while people drive across the bridge daily. Chloe Salsameda breaks it all down.
Construction crews turning their attention west on I-20. This month, they began installing 4 sets of beams that will support the new Savannah River Bridge's westbound lanes.
So that's the main support. Once they get these in place, they will begin to pour the deck structure, which is what people drive on.
Installing the beams is a feat in itself. Each one is 142 feet long and weighs 62 tons.
So these are humongous structures that have to be precisely lifted up from the device they're delivered from and then placed utilizing the equipment and personnel on site.
It's all being done while thousands drive over the Savannah River daily.
There's 70,000 cars on average that come through here per day, and that's only going up. So we can't detour that traffic. They have to work under traffic, which is an incredible challenge. Also respecting the Savannah River and the environment too.
This project getting the Georgia Department of Transportation one step closer to completing the bridge that's expected to be built by spring 2023.
Carolina lawmakers are looking to fix the state's aging water and sewer systems. They're hoping to use federal COVID relief money to get it all done. The state's Rural Infrastructure Authority presented a plan to lawmakers allocating up to $900 million. 60% of the money would be split for large systems that serve more than 30,000 people and 40% for smaller utilities.
That Allendales, Bambergs of the state, Colleton, may wind up with the short end of the stick.
Lawmakers have until December 2024 to allocate the federal funds for these water and sewer system projects. Starting today, the IRS is taking your tax returns, and you may get a bigger refund this year, but it may take a little longer to get it. Changes to the tax code have made several credits refundable, which means they don't just help reduce your tax burden like years past, but they actually help put money back in your pocket. Many of these credits impact families with kids, like the child tax credit and the dependent child tax credit. The IRS says the fastest way to get a refund is to file electronically and set up direct deposit. And most people who do get a refund within just 21 days. Tomorrow night, the Aiken County School Board is expected to vote on a proposed modified calendar for the upcoming year. Superintendent King Lawrence will present his recommendation to the school board. If passed, classes would start 2 weeks early with 2-week breaks at the end of each quarter. The public board meeting is at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the BOE headquarters. Also tomorrow, an elementary school in Edgefield County will honor a student who died from a car accident. 6-year-old Elena Keels was a first grader at Douglas Elementary School. She recently died from injuries she sustained in a car crash that happened on January 10th. At 8:45 tomorrow morning, her school will hold a balloon release in her memory.
This is about sending a strong message that we're committed to NATO and we're committed to assuring that our allies have the capabilities they need in case they need to defend themselves.
Coming up, tensions intensifying. The major move President Biden could make to help settle the difference between Ukraine and Russia.